Hi everybody, it's now 1 week later and I just came aboard and I checked the bilge. I thought that I've taken care of all possible leaking, but let me show you. Okay, in the port side cabin there's also water here. If you remember, it's a bit dark, I'm sorry about that, but that might be coming from over there. There's a hole that looks like there's water seeping in. So let's check that out. And here's the bucket. I'll first open up the engine compartment, the hatch, so we can get a closer look at that. And another place that's always getting water when it has been raining is in here, in the starboard side locker. And for some reason I cannot find where this comes from. And it's not a little bit, it's an awful lot. And another place on the aft of the ship, on the swim platform, there's also some water here, but that's just a little bit. Don't mind that really. I noticed there's a hole here, so I might tape that one off to prevent it leaking beneath the swim platform. But then again, this starboard locker, where does it come from? I taped off the outside, so it beats me. I really hoped this patch from where the radar pole was did the job, but it hasn't been raining since. So yeah, I guess it was not enough. Okay. Yeah, this is the kind of messy result from last week. I had some plastic on top and a can of paint, so this part remained dry anyway, so it couldn't leak through the holes. I still have to patch. Yeah, let's have a look inside. Yeah, that didn't quite work out because I see water there, but is there water here? I don't know. I see some drops here. Seems a bit moist, but yeah, dang it. You see the water level over there and over there? Let's check the bucket. Yeah, I just moved the exhaust hose a bit out of the way, and I can feel that it's wet here, and it's going up. All right, so it's coming from behind. I can see water here. It's coming from the side. There's even drips here, but that might be water seeping out from this. Yeah, that's wet. Now the bucket also has a lot of water in it. So that helped. But before dealing with the water problem, I want to fix something I couldn't finish last week, and that is the drain from the kitchen sink. Last week you could see me struggle with the hose, heating it up to get it in the right shape, and eventually I missed out on a right kind of nut thing, so that couldn't be finished. But today I've got the right stuff with me, so I even have an option. So let's get to it first. And when I've got that done, then I've got a decent drain to drain all the excess water from the bilge in here. So there's a plus on that side too. Last week you saw me fiddling with this piece of piping. These are for the two outlets of the sink. This is a spare outlet if I ever need one. The coupling, this all fitted pretty neatly. I got it right. Even the hose fitted, and yeah, I ended up turning this nut and due to the rubber thing that was in here, that was too thick, so I couldn't get it right, and then I couldn't get it to fit. So, what did I get? I got these. These are the right thickness. I got a new nut. If it doesn't fit, this should be enough. So let's test this first. And then I got another surprise for you, but let's get this off. So because the other ring was too thick, I couldn't get the right grip over here. Even though this thread seems a bit different than this one, if I tie them together without a gasket, it goes on fine. So let's try it this way. And yeah, that's a snug fit. Now let's test the new cap. Dry fit. That's a snug fit. Yeah, that's what happened with the other one. So I don't think this is a real update. Let's try this one once more, because I'm hoping I'm not ruining the thread, because it is plastic after all. Yep, ruined it. Ay, 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 ay. Maybe I should just not over tighten. Maybe this is just good enough. Let's try it on. Okay, I'm trying to not to use too much force, but it looks like this one is the wrong side up. Yep. Or not. No, this one is wrong. This one? Or not? I'm not sure right now. Oh, it should be like this. This is okay.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
This one has to go over there. But what did I get? I got a flexible solution over here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this could be a game changer. Now I put this one on and it already feels a lot better because it's a straight line here. And now I can make the bend. Again, this is not the ideal situation I wanted, because yeah, there's going to be a lot of residue over here that's going to build up. But then again, it should be easy to remove this if necessary and clean. I want to use the bloody sink. Now let's see what kind of bend we can make here. Get it on, get it on, get it on, and it's on. Let's try. What's, okay, she's leveling out here. Yeah. Okay. Let's see beneath. There's no dripping. Let's check this one. Although it was a small success, it was a success. Now I'm going to get a little bit ahead of things, but what do you think is in here? And it's not too hard to guess, is it? Now being able to drain my sink, that's actually a biggie for me. Because now I can finally get the bilge water out and just throw it in the sink. It's clean water, so there's no harm done here. But makes life a lot easier. So with that out of the way, let's grab a bucket. And I've got a pump here, 12-volt pump, and let's see if this works. Lidl has some good stuff, mostly cheap. Now this pump from the fantastic name Ultima Speed has an input. You see, it's a small diameter hose, so it will fit neatly in your engine. and a bigger hose for the out. It has an on and an on switch, and you can plug it to a 12-volt battery. So let's do that. Now let's see. That's part 2. Oh yes. Huh. Happy. Now I know it's gonna rain at some point. So yeah, I feel pretty useless doing this, but I'm gonna do it nonetheless, because I want to enjoy my freshly painted bilge. So I suppose it's about time now the bilge pump gets installed, so this won't be a total disaster once again. Actually, I need to find out where it's leaking, but I don't have a clue. Really, I don't. I have to do some digging. I'm going to call it a day for today, because I've been up since 6 a.m. this morning. I feel I've done enough for now, and tomorrow I'll be doing some small things, like getting the support for the pedestal another top coat, and epoxy the holes I drilled in it. And yeah, that's then finally ready to install once again on the pedestal. I'm going to take out the chain and look at it if there's any obvious damage to see, and if not, then yeah, I can start installing the whole steering system, including the quadrant. That's another exciting step. So I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning.
The next morning.
Good morning. It is now Sunday morning, 8:30 a.m. of course. I've had a pretty good sleep over here. I sleep on the couch and have my sleeping bag, and I watch a little bit of Netflix before I go to sleep, and yeah, it was all pretty okay. This morning I woke up around 5:30. It got me thinking, I've only got one more weekend left, besides this one, to prepare for the engine to be reinstalled. And I've still got a couple of things I have to work out. One is the placement of the diesel pre-filter, where you can drain the water if there's any water. Now I've got one of these fancy raccords. Let's see, where is it? Oh, over here. But space is limited. If I want to place it in a position where I can easily have a look at this and change the filter, and that's the whole purpose of this, that you can see if there's any water, then I have to mount it, but I am not exactly sure how the engine will fit in the engine compartment. And yeah, that brings me to the next problem, is that this is actually a pretty bulky filter. The existing filter was mounted below the engine, and seemed to me like it was pretty inaccessible. So that's not a good place where you want to mount your filter, in my opinion. And sure, I'm no expert, but I'd like to see, maybe open one hatch and then see what's going on in here. I can always make a temporary placement and bring my boat back to my hometown, and then think about a good placement. Another thing is that these hose connectors, they're mounted like this on the side. I don't know if you can see it. And I've got 8mm hose, and this is a 10mm plug. So I need to have another plug. I've been to the store already, but there's nothing that seems to fit. So I have to be a bit creative here. I want to have straight connector, not these things. Another issue is that I can still not find out why there is a second seacock below the engine, the one below the engine. I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but I still cannot find out where that was used for. Okay, I picked up the engine yesterday, and I have to do the wiring myself because I bought a brand new panel, not particularly for the Perkins that I own, but it was from Soleil diesel. The mechanic said that it was a nice panel to work with, and the loom, the wiring loom, also is just clickety-clack. So that's a job I have to do. And I'm going to take the engine with me to my hometown, and then I'm going to take one day, I guess, to get that sorted out. Since I'm particularly for that kind of work not an expert at all, I filmed everything the mechanic told me to wire this, wire to that, and wire that, wire to that. That should be pretty straightforward, but we'll get to that in another episode. So, what's left to do for now? Well, I think I might have found the cause of the leaking that's still going on the aft of the ship. Let me take you there. Now you have seen me looking at this cockpit locker, and that's where one point of the water accumulates. One other was on the port side, and the port side was only a little because the ship is leaning a bit to the starboard side, so I guess everything that's going down is first outside going to the lowest point over here and then disappears somewhere in the abyss. So my thinking was the only place where there was room for that amount of leakage should be behind here. Okay, so let me take this off. Just put it over here. So now when we take a closer look, I thought its tape job was going to be sufficient, but okay, that's still all right, reasonably all right. But these corners, water from the seat here is also going to drip down there, and that's the same for that side, of course. So now we can pretty much see, I don't know if it's even remotely visible, but yeah. Okay, so this part is this part. See? This part, if there's any leakage below, will drop down here, and then, oh yeah, I can even feel it now. It's wet. And then you can see the traces. So yeah, it is pretty obvious. Well, this has to be dealt with. So, and the idea is now to take this all out, find out screws that fit in these pre-existing holes, and then butyl tape all around and fix the damn thing. Success! Yep, there's been a lot of ingress over here. Okay, clean it up and then figure out what to do exactly. Well, I took off most of the tape, but the tape is pretty sticky. So I'm left with some kind of glue residue over here. I'm trying to get rid of it with some thinner. Yucky. Well, while I'm working on this, I actually feel like, why did they use this construction? It's for the sole purpose of getting access to the back sides for whatever is in there that needs to be accessed, or a spot for the life raft to be sitting. Maybe I'll take a whole different approach and just glass the whole back in and make an entrance hatch. The life raft, yeah. There could be another place for that, because I really don't like this. Okay, small change of plans here. I'm going to opt for the easy way and cut out a piece of plastic I've left and tape it off once more and hope that no water will be seeping in. So yeah, let's use this as a template. Now, because the biggest problem was in the corners here, you just want to line it up like this and not create any bevel here. I say that looks pretty good, and I'm wondering, will there ever be any water below anymore? We'll find out next week, because I think Monday and Tuesday are rainy days. For now, I'm pretty much done here. It's 11:30. I want to be at home and do some other things with Nanette and maybe some family things. Next week will be another week with a lot of small things to do, so I'd better make some kind of planning thing. Because when I'm doing these jobs over here, then I think about that, oh, that has to be done and that has to be done, so I better do something with that. See you guys next week. Bye.